week's a charm, isn't it? Now it's getting very, very interesting, kind of. Although I admit that I was a little bit shocked when I half read this Google search list and saw that Malcolm Turnbull's popularity amongst voters has slid lower than Julia Gillard's. And she's not even running. Then I actually clicked on one of the articles and saw that they meant when Julie was running against Tony Abbott back in 2010. Not that that means that Malcolm is out of the woods. If he's less popular than Tony Abbott was, that means that he could face a leadership challenge. And if he's less popular than Julia Gillard, that challenge could come from Kevin Rudd, which would be even worse for everybody. It certainly doesn't look like there'll be a successful challenge from Bill Shorten. What's Bill's popularity these days?
When you look at Bill Shorten's, he's actually in negative territory at -6.
-6? I mean, if Bill can just build on that and get his popularity up to, say, 0, he might have a chance. Personally, I think he should bring back the zingers. People like them. I know we did. Of course, the big news this last week wasn't so much about how our leaders were going as about what was going on behind their backs. Here's our PM here talking to the press about the AFP raid on Labor's offices. And don't worry too much about what he's saying here.
Labor should be ashamed of themselves.
It's just the usual stuff. Look instead at what Malcolm's standing in front of. That very impressive Turnbull Coalition team logo. It's great to know that even if the team itself aren't behind him, an abstract representation of that idea is. It's very presidential, isn't it? Don't you think? Blue and gold with an inlaid blaze on and a single circle rim. Mind you, it also looks like the video game high school logo. What I really like about it is that it shows Australia completely surrounded by a strong, defined border. Whereas if you compare it with Labor's seal, their border is very ill-defined, actually missing at the top end. Not quite the message to send if you're trying to appeal to people's worst instincts. Not that the coalition seal is perfect. If it worked better, it might have prevented the leak of those NBN documents in the first place.
We could find Tony Jones.
Yes, he's in the Late Line studio, which is just down the corridor there, 2 doors along.
Thanks.
That's all right. Pleasure. Labor, of course, are very cross with the government for raiding their offices, and Stephen Cornroy's claiming parliamentary privilege over the documents they seized. And Malcolm Turnbull saying the government didn't know about it, and Bill saying that they did, and the Minister for Communication, Mitch Fifield, saying that he knew but he didn't tell Malcolm, which I guess makes him more of a Minister for non-communication. But someone who was there was a certain unnamed NBN employee who we thought we might as well call Tangelo Zapata. Now, Tangelo, you took some photos of the leaked NBN documents that no one can look at because of parliamentary privilege.
Yes, I did, Shaun, yes, but then I was ordered to delete them by the AFP.
And did you?
No, I didn't. I had the foresight to email copies to my superiors and some of my friends and my sister.
All right, and they sent them back to you. Now, can we look at them?
No, You can't. Some of the attachments were quite large, and so they're still sending. 10 megabytes, some of them. Bloody NBN.
Yes, I've often thought that. You know,
Sorry to bother again. 2 doors along, was it?
yes, that's right. 2 doors along down the corridor.
Thank you.
That's all right. Pleasure. Still to come exactly what those leaked documents reveal. How Telstra technicians are working overtime to ensure the NBN rollout meets 2020 deadline. And how the NBN tests the integrity of their fibre to the node connections.
Next, our former Treasurer shows us just what he can achieve through political preferment. Then a special look at how the ACCC, the Australian Press Council and the Climate Change Authority allegedly work. And later, Annabelle Crabb attempts to humanise some international psychopaths when she has tea and orange cake with ex-Congolese Vice President Jean-Pierre Bemba.
Well, we had some sad news on Monday. Clive Palmer is not even going to run for the Senate. I know. Mr Palmer said that despite not now running for either House of Parliament, or perhaps because of it, he was confident his party would continue to play a significant role in Australian political life and that only Palmer United could keep the bastards honest, which does rather suggest they were honest to begin with. Whereas Jackie Lambie, seen here with Clive in happier times, says that she's going to make the bastards honest, which does suggest they weren't honest to begin with. Personally, whatever the integrity of the bastards she's dealing with, I'm glad she's running again. In fact, she might have some company. Her Jackie Lambie network is putting not only Tasmania first, but also Queensland, Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia. Quite how you put everywhere first, I'm not sure. Maybe it's by putting everyone else second or third. A big election issue for Jackie is the war on terror suspects, a subject brought into sharp focus by the recent arrest of the 5 men allegedly planning a foreign incursion by speedboat. For Jackie, it's, not surprisingly, a no-brainer. Arrest those people before they actually do anything illegal. In fact, she'll go further than that, as she explains on that thing you have on in the morning, Sunrise.
They had enough evidence to take away their passports, but they didn't. But that they still had not arrested them. So, you know, so if they've got enough evidence to take away their passport, which I believe that these 5 men had their passports taken away from them, why aren't they arresting them and why aren't they locking them away and throwing away the key and actually setting an example and saying we're not going to tolerate this, zero tolerance?
Yes, why aren't we saying we're not going to tolerate this zero tolerance? Chief of Staff for Jackie Lambie, Dolly Norman.
Shaun, it's like Jackie is always saying lately, ASIO are too soft on terrorists in this country. If we could have arrested those tinny terrorists before they bought that boat and towed it all the way to Queensland, then they would already be in prison already forever, and we wouldn't be talking about it. Catch and release!
Yes, but what about our justice system? Sure, you have to test any evidence against these men in court first.
No, not if you arrest them before they've actually done anything illegal. Shaun, have you seen Minority Report of Tom Cruise?
No,
These bald, nude women in a pond have a dream that someone's going to do a crime. And then they arrest them, and then they get frozen or something. Stop, hello!
Well, thank you very much, Dolly. Would you mind throwing to the next piece?
Oh, I know, yeah. Still to come later in the week.
He's a teetotaler and intellectual, a virginal and asexual academic equally uninterested in sport, a devout Christian who's never sung along to K-San. That's Un-Australian Story, Tuesday 8 p.m.
Welcome back. Milk. Farmers are crying foul over it, but Coles have come to the rescue with a new product designed to help the dairy industry out of the grave it dug for it with its $1 a litre policy. Some actual news footage has more.
It'll sell a special brand of milk with proceeds to go to a farmer's fund.
It says we'll deliver an extra 20 cents for every litre of milk sold.
Customers will have the choice. They can buy the $2 per 2 litre milk, or they can pay a little bit extra knowing that the money that they spend will go back directly into the pockets of our farmers.
So why a special brand? Why not just put your Coles brand milk up by 20 cents, Coles PR spokesmodel Jimmy Peedy?
It's about variety, Shaun. Some people like more calcium, some people like less fat, A2, skim, organic, RBST-free, and are happy to pay that little bit extra.
Yes, but those products are different from each other. This one's exactly the same as your regular milk.
Well, it's like our free-range eggs or our dolphin-friendly tuna. Some people are happy to pay that little bit extra out of guilt over the suffering that making the product causes to the animals. So chickens get more room, the dolphins get less dead, and the farmers get an extra 20 cents back in their pockets.
Yes, so you're hopeful this special milk encourages less cruelty to farmers?
Well, I guess, but I suppose some people just want cheap eggs and tuna and they can buy our cheaper products. So too, if customers don't care about the farmers, they can buy our regular milk.
Do you think pity is a good selling point?
Guilt, pity, remorse, shame, condescension. Coles are looking at a whole range of emotions that might generate sales, but don't underestimate the other end of the market, Shaun. People who really hate farmers and enjoy seeing them suffer.
Yeah, but surely management get a staff discount.
Well, we're trialling this in some of our stores that serve our more sociopathic suburbs like Edgecliff. 10 cents a litre.
All right. Fuck you, farmers.
Yeah. We reckon it's going to be a big seller.
All right, well, thank you very much. And coming up later, a farmer's perspective on what happens if the dairies don't play ball with the uncooperatives.
Well, we can only hold out for so long, because even the long-life milk's perishable eventually. After that, we've got to turn into powdered milk. And then you can add water to it, reconstitute it back into milk again with a new use-by date. Then you hold on to it for as long as you can, and then just before it expires, turn it back into powder again, and so on until China eventually buys it. It's a cycle. Yeah, they write a lot of them over there.
Well, now, come July 2, when you'll get into your cardboard confessional, you'll notice that the ballot paper looks a little different from the last time you drew a penis and testicles all over it. The Australian Electoral Commission have very kindly put a practice one up on the website for you to try out with what I assume are fictional party names, although, as in real life, they will create strong reactions for and against, I'm sure. They've given us the Cloud Party, the Rain Party, the Humid Party, the Mist Party, in short, a party to cater for every meteorological condition. Now, you might think to yourself, oh, the Sun Party, I bet they have a very interesting policy on global warming. They sound all right to me. Sure, but remember, they are in coalition with the Fog Party. Is that a good move, psephologist Clancy Lanyard?
Well, Shaun, it's certainly a smart way to capture those key demographics of beach volleyball players and pirates on pre-dawn smuggling raids.
It's hardly a stable coalition, though, is it? I mean, surely a more natural partner for the Fog Party would have been the Mist Party.
Well, Fog has always been strong in the coastal electorate, Shaun, and they'd be worried about Mist, not so much taking their seats as making them so damp no one wants to sit on them.
Yes.
Look, likely scenario, they'll split the vote and the otherwise unelectable Rain Party will end up with the balance of power and take the House next election in a mudslide.
I see. Thank you, Clancy.
I've got some computer graphics, if you'd just like to see.
No, I'm good.
Sorry, please, I took hours doing these.
I know, but you know, Anthony Green's computer always crashes and it annoys Kerry O'Brien.
I know, but these are good. I've got them all ready to go.
I don't think we're okay.
Please, Shaun.
All right.
Thank you. And here we are. This will just show... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, for those of you following the election campaign more closely, Treasurer Scott Morrison had this timely reminder.
Every time you see Bill Shorten's lips moving in this campaign, he's spending more and more money.
Now, it certainly puts a different perspective on this encounter.
Come on, proper kiss.
And just for balance, I should add that every time you see Senator Michaelia Cash's lips moving,
we will be as tough on those seeking to abuse the 457 program as we are on people smugglers.
It's like watching gymnastics. So far, though, I think this campaign has thrown up more questions than it's answered. For example, which of the major parties is the biggest arsehole when it comes to refugees? I mean, obviously the Greens are out because they want to increase the intake to 50,000, a policy which elicited this response from the not that keen on immigration Minister Peter Dutton.
They won't be numerate or literate in their own language, let alone English. These people would be taking Australian jobs, there's no question about that.
I mean, Mr Dutton makes an interesting point. Mr Dutton makes an interesting point. I mean, if immigrants who can't count or write in their own language are taking jobs from Australians, it's not a ringing endorsement of the quality of the local applicants, is it? I suppose the advantage the immigrants have is that they're illiterate and innumerate in 2 languages, whereas for most Australians it's only the one. Although being innumerate, they wouldn't be able to count up to the 2 languages they're illiterate and numerate in, so ignorance is bliss, I guess. And anyway, things like that aren't necessarily obstacles to getting on in life. Election 2016, David Feeney didn't declare $2.3 million house and doesn't know if it's negatively geared. You see, Labor power broker David Feeney's innumerate. He was unable to count a $2.3 million property as an asset. Certainly hasn't held him back. And as for anyone interested in real estate, here's a picture of David Feeney's investment property. As you can see there, the current tenants have pledged their allegiance to the Greens. So good luck getting the landlord to fix anything around the house. At the end of the day, though, political campaigning isn't all high-fiving, high-vis and hi, how you doing, as this snapshot of life on the gruelling campaign trail shows. There's Bill Shorten campaigning in Tasmania, Barnaby Joyce in Brisbane, Julie Bishop explaining foreign policy in Adelaide, Malcolm Turnbull on the Mornington Peninsula, Malcolm Turnbull in the Northern Territory, Malcolm Turnbull and Barnaby Joyce in Bundaberg, Queensland, and Barnaby Joyce again campaigning in Tamworth. Did Sir Peter Cosgrove call it an election or last drinks? Send your entries to it's so Australian to be seen consuming alcohol competition, care of the ABC, etc. And you could be in the running to win a Julia Baird trimmer. Keep your favourite newsreader from getting unruly with this state-of-the-art lawn edger from ABC Personnel Grooming. Now, as many of you know, democracy in this country is being threatened by the ongoing doing of their job by the New South Wales Electoral Commission. They continue to deny the Liberal Party $4.4 million in campaign funding because of non-disclosure of illegal political donations. This man, Arthur Synodinos, party treasurer at the time, has rightly refused to turn up to a Senate inquiry to face a lot of impertinent questions about who these illegal donations came from, arguing quite reasonably that he's already not answered those questions on 2 previous inquiries. Now, leaving aside just how those illegal donations came to end up in the Liberal Party coffers via a Liberal Party fundraising body, the question remains, how much has it disadvantaged the Libs election campaign not to have access to that $4.4 million? Because let's face it, $4.4 million is a lot of money. I mean, it's 4 times what Mitch Pfeiffer blew of the arts budget buying that investment property. So we here at the state broadcaster thought we'd help out the Libs in their time of need by making some much-needed campaign ads for them, free of charge, and air them on our show instead of actual content. Now, the lucky candidate tonight is a House of Reps backbencher, Ian Goodenough. He's been the honourable member for the electorate of Moore in Perth since 2013, and here's our contribution to his hopeful re-election.
Ian Goodenough didn't know anything about the fuel excise in 2014.
I haven't really got into that.
He knew nothing about tensions between his party and the Nationals.
I don't really have anything much to say about that.
And he's not about to back down when people suggest he should have.
No, I don't think so.
He knew nothing about Malcolm Turnbull's trouble with Alan Jones.
I didn't watch that.
And he had no idea about Turnbull's plan to topple Abbott.
Do you think he wants the Prime Minister's job?
No, I don't think so.
He's a humble backbencher who's not in the loop and has nothing to do with the budget, the submarines, the banking industry, taxation, the deficit, health funding, Gonski or deregulating university fees.
Rather not comment.
Re-elect Ian Goodenough. He's got nothing to do with it.
The trouble with most industry watchdogs is they have no teeth. You're armed to the teeth. Use them.
Beauty only gets you so far in a boys' club. I headhunted you because you're from Asia, not because we once loved each other.
I want you on this team because we're a team. And you complete me. But I've got nephritis. I don't care. Get back to work.
Boss, the car's here, and it's red.
Because cleaning up a world that just got a whole lot dirtier.
Got a sec? This hospice should have been completed days ago. Those bastards have been ratcheting up equipment costs, but we can't prove it because there's absolutely no evidence of it.
What equipment?
Tractors, bulldozers, snowcat, track skidders, graders, skip loaders, excavators, dredgers, backhoes, harvesters, articulated haulers, compactors, aerial work platforms, lift tables, cherry pickers, cranes, forklift, asphalt pavers, ballast tampers, pile driver, earth moving rotary tillers, street sweepers, cement mixers, wheel forwarders, dump trucks.
I've heard enough.
Taxi!
It's hard.
What's wrong, Enid?
You better get her obstetrician on the blower. I think it's her ovaries.
But who said union smashing was ever meant to be soft, or that a scum was easy to remove? I know you're in pain. We all are. But unless you tell us what your husband did and provide enough proof to put him behind bars for the rest of his life, we can't help him.
But you said he was only going to get a $350,000 fine and have his union deregistered.
I lied. Waterboarder, Hennessy.
Please, no! No! No!
Enid Sweet. Coming soon.
Time now for news from countries that aren't Australia, proudly brought to you by
Join the Dots Canberra book. Feel the frustration melt away as you restore Chris Bowen's beard, or work out just what Tony Abbott has in mind to promote party unity. Available at the ABC shop online.
Well, to the UK first, where the University of East Anglia has, for health and safety reasons, banned the throwing of mortarboards into the air on graduation day. Instead, the university recommends students mime the throwing action and have the mortarboard digitally added to the photos later. Yes, why not Photoshop the gown on as well to avoid the expense of hiring one, or just mock up the diploma and save yourself 3 or 4 years in a HECS debt? Yeah, right on. Now to America.
A Boston hospital has become the first in the United States to perform a successful penis transplant.
And there is Thomas Manning, the transplant recipient. Obviously, that's before the operation. Excuse me. Hello? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. All right. Bye-bye. Sorry, apparently that's his thumb he's holding up. And they certainly got the right surgeon to perform the operation, Dick & Co, which incidentally is a great business name. Dr. Brian Appointment, was the donation of this penis an incredibly generous gesture by a friend, or did the donor perhaps have two?
No, Shaun, the donor would have been deceased.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the donor penis is always taken from a stiff.
What if you required this procedure? Could you handle a dead man's penis?
Well, obviously, I hope it wouldn't happen, touch wood, but look, if I were to lose my penis, I think I'd adopt the philosophy of that old Stephen Stills song. If you can't be with the one you love the one you will.
So far, the news for Mr. Manning is good. His penis has not been rejected. Sadly, the same cannot be said for this man. And finally to upstate New York now, where the mayor of a local town has been arrested for stealing 111 road signs. Apparently the limit is 110.
Join Madonna Flan this Thursday as she drops in on the Minister for Employment, Micallefs.
Hello! Micallefs not here, but she said she can come in and get started.
Oh, lovely. So, how is Micallefs?
She's good. Yeah. Don't forget to disinfect the room.
Aussie pollies like you've never wanted to see them before, in interviews that combine the cut and thrust of a Zoot review with the latest in scrummy desserts.
I think this could do with a softer soap.
Hurry up. Got the drains to snake out.
Oh, yes, yes.
Order in the house. Hard-hitting journotainment with the Walkley or Logie Award hoping for Madonna Flan.
I'll get the head of news to pop around and have a look at that intake valve. I'm not sure I was stacking up enough.
Sure you don't want any money?
No, all part of the service.
Followed by a vague feeling of emptiness at 8 o'clock.
Good luck in July.
Well, they say that every time an election promise is broken, an angel gets its wings. If that's true, there must be a fuckload of them flapping around in heaven tonight. One of which is the result of a $16 million worth of funding promised to iconic Aussie brand Cadbury in the 2013 election, now going to other projects like gourmet sausage maker Wursthaus. It's a bitter pill, only soluble by the wisdom of the elders.
Francis? Thank you. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Is there anyone who doesn't like it, Bill?
Oh, well, there are some like myself who suffer from an intolerance to cocoa and get headaches, nausea, and often diarrhea. But generally, yes, a very popular confectionery item.
Now, you're going to be handing some out as voluntary ambassador at the Paralympics in Rio later this year.
Yes, that is true. Cadbury are a sponsor there, and I used to work there when I was a boy. Sacked I was after the sex change operation. Wouldn't happen now, of course. I mean, it's almost compulsory to have a LGBT employee these days, or at least somebody on the spectrum, isn't it?
And you worked in the chocolate industry for many years. In fact, you started off, Bill, as tea-boy at Ernest Hilliard Chocolates.
It was my idea to put plastic inside Mars bars.
And now you're back at Cadbury as ambassador.
Yes, I get to dress up as a block of chocolate in a bow tie and throw samples at the crowd. Or, if I'm facing in the wrong direction, the athletes.
I suppose it's hard to see out of the head.
No, there's no costume. Now I just have to brown up with shoe polish. But I do have stigmata, and sometimes that confuses me.
I think you mean astigmatism.
No, that's not what the Archbishop said.
Do you think that chocolate and elite sports are a good combination?
I did wonder about that, but I honestly don't think our reputation will suffer all that much. Don't forget, it's the Paralympics, not that drug-fueled other one.
No, I mean...
Come with me, Francis. There's something I'd like to show you which I think may be of interest to you. Come. Get aboard, Greenie.
Oh, come on. You deserve to pamper yourself occasionally.
How decadent. A bath of chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. Disgusting. Well, not coming up because Comedy Showroom is on in a minute. King's School end-of-season trip goes off without a hitch. And ABC fact-check unit sorely missed as extraordinary claims made on campaign trail.
They're all different, aren't they, folks?
Yeah, very different. You'll never find the same boat.
Well, a final word in defence of our immigration minister, if I may. Not from me, obviously, but our Prime Minister, who said it was important for all Australians to know
that the government that they elect determines who comes to Australia.
So clearly taking a leaf out of former PM John Howard's book there. He must have also been sorely tempted to take a leaf out of this man's mouth. Goodbye.
John, baby.